that told the complete story. And around '89, I mean, Gary remembers that. I've been harassing him about the book since that day, basically. I thought, well, I want to do my own book and finish it, because the cars were still running. And like, for instance, in 1990, at the very end of Group C, Porsche sold more 962s to customers than any year before that. Because that's how successful they were, and that's how much people wanted to run those cars. So I started collecting data with the idea of one day do a book. And Group C was ending at the end of 1990, and I thought, well, end of 1990, it'll take me a year or two to finish the book, and then we'll have the book out. But of course, then I'm one of those people who always wants to know everything. I mean, I'm sure there's people in the room here when they switch on National Geographic at midnight and think, that's interesting. Probably a topic you've never heard about it, but it's interesting, so keep on watching. And I'm like that with gathering data and finding more stuff about these cars. So I started getting more and more data, more and more facts, contradictory facts as well. Then I went to the Porsche archives for the first time, and then I found things like, gearbox ratios, interesting, must put that in as well. Of course, you only had that for one car, for maybe 10 cars, but in total there have been 220 cars built, privateer cars and works cars. So it took me a long time to get all the data that I wanted, but I was never in a hurry, until of course Philip Porter and his team knocked on my door a couple of years back and wanted to do a book on the Works Porsche. So then all of a sudden I had to speed up and get it done. So, but yeah, it's an illness probably, but it's a pleasant one.
It's good, yeah, there's no cure,
No, unfortunately.
which is excellent. The photography is amazing in the book as well. It's something that really catches you when you open it up. And it always amazes me that Group C, as we've heard, was all about fuel efficiency, was about the engineering, and yet such beauty is seen in these cars. And you've really brought that out in the book. Was that important to get the artistic side of it across as well?
Yes, absolutely. Also, for once, it's never been done before with Porsches to have these kind of pictures. Unfortunately, and luckily, Henry allowed us to have some of his cars in the studio and photograph from every possible conceivable angle, and also in great detail. But again, it also shows the elegance of what was Group C. And if for those people who've seen them around the track today, they still look good. Although they're 40 years old, they just don't age. And I'm sure that the new, for next year, LMDH class, in which the Porsche 963 will run, if they had taken like the aero specification out of the Group C book, the cars would still look great.